Hey Rupin, how's it going?
Hi Rohit, it's going well. Hope you're well. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay, don't be nervous. You are like a terrific dancer, so stage fright is something that should be the last thing on your mind. But I just want to say it is so crazy and like so amazing to meet and talk to you after so many years, like I think 12 years, right?
Yeah, I think 12, 13 years, I don't know. I just remember like we going to the school together in an auto rickshaw and
Yeah,
being in that uniform with the bag and all.
uniform.
And now
Yeah,
here we are.
yeah. So for our audience, first of all, welcome to the second season of Talking to the Moon. And Rupin is someone I know from school. We went to the same school together in Pune, in India. And we both were in the same auto rickshaw, which was a very popular means of transport for kids. But after that, I think you were in the rickshaw for like two years maybe. And after
Yeah,
that, we
2 years,
just
one
lost
half.
touch.
Yeah, yeah.
And in school, Rupin and dance was never two words I put together, okay? She was just like a friend in my auto rickshaw. And then jump to 12 years later, I'm on my Instagram, I'm scrolling, and in my Explore, I see a terrific dance. I click on that, and there's Rupin Kale, and I was like, what? Like, Rupin is into dancing? I mean, I was very happy because I love dancing. Uh, and then I saw her account. She has like thousands of followers, some 800 posts, out of which I'm sure there are hundreds of dance videos. And she's a celebrity, man. And I was like, whoa, Rupin has turned into this celebrity. And of course, I knew you were handling and juggling sports journalism, which also you're doing great at. But this dance thing was never in my mind. So, my first question to you is, how did dance come into your life out of nowhere?
First of all, like you just talking about how you found my profile is a little crazy because I remember like very recently, I got your message and your follow, and I was like, oh, Rohit. And then
Yeah,
since then, you've so many times you've told me personally that I love your dance, and you've left so many comments and all. So it's like a very nice story that has happened
yeah.
recently. So yeah, you asked me how I got into dance, right? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because in school there was no it was not in the picture.
Yeah, I am from a family where no one dances. Like my mom doesn't dance. No one dances in my family basically, and I also never used to dance as a child. But I went to Bharatanatyam training classes for a little bit, and I used to just take it as any other class. Like as a child, you go to many classes. Like
Yeah,
this sport, this music, this
yeah,
that. It
yeah.
was just something like that, and it required a lot of discipline at the time, which I didn't have. So it was a little difficult for me. I still did it for about 3, 4 years, but I don't count that as, you know, a part of my journey as a dance lover, basically. Obviously, it helped in my training later on, which I realize
Right.
now. But back then, it was just like, okay, I have to go to class, I have to do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how. But then I left that because, 10th boards, 12th boards, you know how it is in
Yeah,
India.
yeah, yeah.
So I left that, and but actually, this happened in our school that there was a play which also had
Okay.
dance, and
Okay.
I can't act even till now. I don't know how to act, so I was
Oh,
like,
come
okay, I'll
on.
at least
Dude, your
try.
expressions are crazy, but okay, I'll let you speak.
So I was like, okay, I'll at least try dance because I can at least do something. And all of my
Something.
friends were in the dance this thing. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll give an audition and see how it goes. And the step was so simple in the audition. Now when I look back, I laugh so much. But just everyone got selected, barring me and one other girl, okay? Because I couldn't do
Okay.
this. It was
Right.
very bad. I couldn't do it.
Right.
And then the next day, I was like a naughty child. I was always punished by teachers and stuff like that. So then the next day they came and they were like, people who are selected just come for the practice. We are starting. And I just got up and went. And I
Oh,
was selected. Okay. I was like, it's okay. They won't realize.
you
And they didn't
smuggled
realize.
yourself into
Yeah.
dancing even though you were not allowed. Nice. Good.
Yeah. So I went. She didn't realize that she had said no
Hmm.
to me. She's like, yeah, come
Right.
and all. And then during that process, it was like a very serious day. It was
Right.
three performances over 3 nights, and we practiced for 2, 3
Hmm.
months for it. And somehow in that process, I started liking it a lot. Because
Hmm.
initially I was very bad at it. Every single step they had to teach it to me. The basics
Right.
had to do it 100 times. But by the time we reached the final performance, she put me in the center for the final performance
Wow.
and in front.
Wow.
And I was like, I was a little underconfident then, as all
Right.
teenagers are, and I had
Yeah.
a lot of issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I just realized that, this is something where if you work at it, you actually get good at it. And then
Hmm.
people, then you get the confidence to do it in front of so many people and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just that process of starting something which I was not even supposed to do, then
Right.
finding
Yeah.
my own there, and then practicing, and then seeing the results of that practice, the growth. You can see it with
Right.
your own, and
True.
then getting rewarded for it through the audience, through the teacher herself, and stuff like that. So I just really like that process and how that felt.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then I joined a dance class after that because I wanted
Okay.
to this time.
Right.
And since then, yeah, I've never stopped since then.
Oh my God, that's such a crazy story, right? Like you
Yeah.
smuggled your way into dance and look at the arc, like you were at the center at the end. That's lovely. I love that. Okay, so you joined dance classes, you trained a lot. Do you remember the first time you posted your dance video on Instagram or any other platform? How did that feel like?
It was, I don't even remember what video it was. It was probably some performance, some horrible video where you can't even see me, bad lighting, bad dancing, everything. But I have always been extroverted as a person, more or less.
Right, right.
So my Instagram used to be active anyway. Like
Hmm.
it wasn't a dance profile, it was just like a me profile. I used to post a lot of
Right,
photos. I used to,
right.
So one day I was like, okay, I'll post a video. And it
Yeah.
wasn't even like, this is a dance video. I have to, the audio isn't, it's very bad, as it always is for anything that you do for the first time.
First
But
time,
yeah, it
yeah.
was just probably like from some performance that it shouldn't have gone up, but it did. And yeah.
I think I remember you posting videos of you dancing in Ganesh Utsav festivals. I remember this for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I don't know if they were your very first videos, but I remember this. I'm like, wow,
They
that's
were
like really
probably
great.
among the first two or three, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So those are the first two, three videos, but do you remember the first video that sort of like went viral or made you think that, okay, I can actually like start putting more videos and people are giving me good responses?
So funnily enough, it was never about the responses for me.
Hmm.
Like from the start, it never was. It
Right.
was always about like showcasing what I want to showcase to the world or what I want to
Yeah.
show. So even like now, if you look at my content, it's never based on what would work or what would have a lot of views, and I am okay with that. I am okay with
Yeah.
taking it slow, and with
Yeah.
as my like I just care about the people who are already watching my videos, not about those who
True.
might if it goes
Hmm.
viral and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the viral bit I don't remember. It came a lot later, like the one
Right.
video which really did well, and but initially, I used to attend a lot of dance workshops and stuff like that, and I used to see a
Hmm.
lot of their videos, the artists who I
Hmm.
learned from. And I
Hmm.
really liked how they presented their dance, and
Right.
uh, how did they do this? How did they edit it this way? How did they
Right.
post it this way? How did they decide that costume? Just stuff like that. I really got into that process, and just one day I just decided, I've learned this choreography, but I don't like how the workshop video has come out, so I'll just
Hmm.
probably shoot it in my own house, which
Hmm.
again is a very bad video now that I look back at it. But back then I was like, I'll just post it. I'll just see how this
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
And I started posting, and since then it has been a crazy, crazy
Crazy,
journey.
right? Okay, so I mean, now, of course, you shoot videos professionally and you collaborate with so many other artists who are also amazing. Take us through the journey a of a normal like dance video. What goes into the prep? Like how from the song finalization to choreography to shoot day, how is the whole process like? Because what we see is the final version, but I'm sure there's a roller coaster behind the actual video.
So yeah, collaborations are one of my favorite things about my whole content creation thing right now, because
Yeah.
I get to learn from these different people. I get to see their process and imbibe whatever I can from the little things that they do before, during, and after a shoot. So yeah, I love doing it. So every time I collaborate with an artist, obviously every person has their own preferences, priorities as to why they collaborate. But for
Hmm.
me, I think it's important for the other person's strengths to be shown in the video. So I always
Right.
think about like if I'm collaborating with A, B, C person, what is
Right.
his or her biggest strength. And
Hmm.
how can I combine that with my unique or whatever, my style of dance or whatever. And
Right.
I always love to, I don't like making the same thing again and again, or I don't
Yeah.
want to stick to my strengths because that's boring
Right.
and I can do that alone. Why do I need to
True.
collaborate with anyone for it?
True.
So, which is why I'm okay being, you know, if someone else is outshining me in a video, I'm okay with it because that means that I'm learning more than that person. So it's great. So every time I collaborate with someone, I think about what their strengths are, and then that begins my ideation process. So,
Hmm.
if this person is good at whatever,
Right.
semi-classical dance, then, how can I combine that with something different that both of us can present on our profiles? I don't want to keep it easy or simple. I don't like to do that.
Yeah.
So then that's how it starts. Then I pitch the idea to the person if the person likes it. So this is for like the best sort of videos. Huh? Like
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
of them
Yeah.
are just like, you just do it
Time
for fun.
pass. Yeah.
Yeah, but I prefer these sort of ones where you put in a lot of. Then I approach
Yeah.
the person. If they like the idea, then we discuss as to how to meet, which para to take, which stanza to take, which styles to combine, stuff like that. Then once you meet, you rehearse, you try to create something new. Even
Hmm.
in choreography, I'd like to keep it a little difficult. Like I don't want it to be too simple or too easy because
Yeah.
it's just not who I am. It just doesn't feel like I can pull off the simple nice kind of dance. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So then you choreograph it. Then obviously costuming and visuals are very, very important when it comes to content creation, not in
Yeah.
dance as such,
Yeah. True.
but when it comes to content creation. And I have begun to enjoy it a lot now because it is also a representation of what the song is, what the style is. It is an
True.
extension of your dance. Then you
True.
think about those aspects. You think about what kind of background would look good, what kind of minutiae would look good around the video.
Hmm.
Then, do
Hmm.
you need a videographer? Can you do it on a tripod? If you can do it on a tripod, how are you going to edit stuff like that? For some videos, I have made an Excel sheet. This shot, this close up
अरे
shot. These are
बाप
the ones.
रे.
This is the angle that we need. Stuff like that. So yeah, you do all of that. Then on the day of the shoot, like say 6 to 7 hours or just more than that actually are dedicated just to the shoot because initially you have to get ready for one, two
Hmm.
hours. You have to travel for 1.5 hours.
True.
When you shoot, if it is a very good video, it goes to 3, 4 hours, like, just to get the right shot. Then after that, you pack up, So almost the entire day, you're just focused on the shoot when it is a very important. Then after the shoot, you go through the takes, which are like in my case, always too many, too many. Because I love to
Okay.
take takes. It's like a joke in my friend circle that,
अच्छा.
you don't dance with Rupin because he makes you do like 30, 40 takes every single
Takes.
time.
I see.
So then you go through the takes, which also takes 1.5, 2 hours because there are so many. Then you give it for editing, or in my case, I mostly edit all of my own videos. So then you edit it. Again, it takes 2, 3 hours, and then you post it, and then that's when the process is complete.
My God, like I didn't imagine like 3 4 hours of shoot. Like that's an eye opener for me as well.
Yeah, and it's still not as much as some people. Like, if you consider team
Team
dance, or
Natch. Oh
the
yeah.
best, they shoot
Yeah.
for like 12, 13 hours. They book the studio for 12, 13 hours, and until it is perfect, they won't stop. Until
Hmm.
that one finger is the way it's supposed to be for all 4 or 5
Yeah.
dancers or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, and I could totally resonate with, not resonate, but I could understand when you said that you like to, show other people's strengths because one of my favorite dance videos of yours is Chandra, the very recent Lavani. And I think your partner and your collaborator is, I think, more comfortable with that form of dance. And you have
she's
said in your
amazing.
video,
Yeah.
yeah, she's amazing. And you have said in your video that, this is something sort of out of your comfort zone. So I totally understand when you say that you like to collaborate and showcase other people's strengths as well and learn from them.
Yeah.
And so I can see that you're also like having fun. Like, of course, you're creating content, you're a dancer, but you're having so much fun doing that. And you're always, praising your collaborators or your friends. And one thing I have noticed, at least amongst all the artist communities, in the dance community, people really uplift each other. People don't sort of look down upon or sort of don't condescend people who are not necessarily good at dancing. I really feel it's a very a heartwarming, supportive community. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, like so I recently moved to Mumbai this year in April,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I was actually supposed to be here just for 2 months to cover the IPL, like from the
Right.
office. That was the plan. But Rohit, I can't tell you, like the community here, the dance scene here, the people who I already knew through Instagram, but the way I
Yeah.
have connected with them now and
Yeah.
to dance every weekend, to go to these places, to learn from these people, to hang out with them later. It was just so incredible. Within a month, I told my mom I don't see myself living in any other city in India. Like I just can't.
Really.
Oh yeah, I just
And that's a
silent.
Pune girl saying that,
Yeah,
so I'm taking that very seriously.
yeah. But my
Yeah.
energy is more like Mumbai vibe anyway, more than
Got
Pune.
it.
So
Hustle
uh,
culture.
yeah,
Yeah.
more like chaotic and
Yeah.
always running and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the community is just touch wood. That is like the best thing that has happened to me through dance. The friend whose house I am recording this through, I met him through dance,
I
and
see.
just in general, like everything. Yes, the art is at the center of it all, and it is why we are all doing it. We love it so much. We are somewhere inside we are a little crazy that we are putting in so much for this, and just the amount of investment that it takes just to go to a workshop, it's not easy.
Hmm.
Like not
Yeah.
everyone can do it, and to
True.
do it consistently, to create consistently, to put yourself out there consistently. There are lots of insecurities involved. There's lots of comparison. Even if you don't want to, somewhere it enters your mind for so many people in so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
True.
we keep going because of this, because this community is just so strong. The support is so strong, and that not just the support, the level of inspiration. Like every
Hmm.
time I go to a workshop, I learn something new from the dancers there. And
Right.
I think what you talked about is, someone not being a strong dancer, that you don't pull them
Yeah.
down. It's because you
Yeah.
learn from everyone, even from someone who you might not consider traditionally to be a good dancer.
Hmm.
You can
Hmm.
maybe learn how they express, or how
Right.
they don't worry about anything when they're in front of the camera, or
Yeah.
how naturally certain things come to them, which I have to
Right.
work very hard for. So then you learn these things from everyone, and uh, I think there's a level of empathy here within everyone because
Yeah.
everyone is doing the same thing. So
Yeah.
everyone
True.
understands why it is important to cheer when someone's performing, why it's important
Yeah.
to share if you like something, why it's
Yeah.
important to leave a nice comment. So yeah, this dance has given me so much more than just dance, and yeah, I'm very grateful, very very.
Yeah. I can imagine. And like you mentioned, insecurities, recently uploaded a dance video of Bedardi Raja, and you were like, there are lots of flaws or faults in them. I didn't notice anything, but I'm sure, of course, you would have since you have choreographed and danced on it. So, could you talk a bit more about these insecurities and how do you keep yourself going despite all of them?
Yeah, actually, that video I shot it a year ago. So once you rewatch something you've shot a year ago, you see a
Yeah,
lot of things that I could have done this so well in my sleep today.
yeah,
I put to
yeah.
sleep. But then it's I think most things in life, not everything, but
Hmm,
most things in life, uh, they affect you in a way that you think about them. So the way you think
hmm.
about things really makes a difference as to what they make you feel
Right,
most of the time.
right.
So even with dance, initially I used to be a very competitive person, not in a good way. I was a
Hmm,
little, I always used to compare myself to others, not in a way to be inspired, just in a way to be, what is she doing that I'm not doing right? Or,
right.
what is he doing that I'm not getting right? Why am
Yeah,
I not in that position? Or why am I
right.
not? Which is not a great outlook to have. It doesn't help
Hmm,
anyone. And somehow
hmm,
I believe that if you think these things, it shows in your energy. Like your energy is not right and not in
hmm.
the way that is supposed to be. And people around you can tell that, something is off.
Yeah.
So now I feel like it's all about how you think about things,
Hmm,
yeah, someone else was called up today to, to perform in front of the class. So I can either choose to be grumpy about it, or I can, cheer for them when it is their stage. It doesn't matter
true.
if, you know, I am not there today. It's their day
Hmm.
today, so I should
Hmm.
be there to cheer for them and then learn from them.
Yeah.
Today Karim Benzema won the Ballon d'Or, and there's a beautiful pic
Oh,
of him. I think it was Ronaldo who had won the Ballon d'Or a couple of seasons ago, and this guy was standing
ago.
behind
Yeah.
and clapping for him. And today he won it. And then
Wow.
some comment below that said that, I'll clap for others until it's my turn. So I
Hmm.
really resonated with that because I have changed my
Mindset.
thought process, thought process like that, and it takes a lot of work. It's not easy. You know,
Yeah, I
uh,
can. Yeah.
uh, I give a lot of time to keep my mental health in the right place in terms of
Hmm.
thinking. Like I really feel my thought process changing is very important. In every way. Whenever I don't
Yeah.
feel good about things, I just take the time to think about them in the right way, or just ask myself,
Right.
how should I think in a way that this brings me peace in the moment.
Hmm.
So that's how you deal with these things. Like that's how I'm doing it right now, and it's going well. Now I've made so many connections because of this attitude,
Yeah.
which in a way I won't say they are more important, but they are as important as that. Because at the end of the day, like this love, this respect, that is what matters the most, right?
True.
So yeah,
Yeah. And then what is art without the people who make the art, right? So I
yeah,
completely agree with you. And you mentioned competition, you mentioned mental health. It so happens invariably that the art that you guys are making, Instagram and maybe YouTube to a certain extent, but mostly Instagram is the platform where you project it, where it gets sort of seen by people. What happens on social media, which is again controlled by algorithms and so many other things, is one can get caught up in the whole gauntlet of likes, comments, uh, all those tangible things. How do you do you stay away from this, or if not, like how do you deal with this whole likes and all these metric situation?
again, this has been a process. It was
Hmm.
very difficult for me initially. I always used to, and again, why 300 here and why not 4,000 in this one and why this, why
Yeah.
that. But it has now it doesn't affect me at all unless it is like too bad, which it
Hmm.
thankfully it hasn't happened to me too much. It happened once in the last 2 3 years when Instagram had crashed when I had posted something, so that's okay.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
unless it is too diabolical, which it hasn't happened to me, and my expectations are very low in terms of these
Hmm.
numbers. No, I just like basic minimum is enough for me. 1,000 views, I'm fine. I don't even need anything above that. 100 likes,
Hmm.
150 likes, I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
So how I learned to deal with it is fortunately I don't rely on this for my financial well-being. Like for
Right.
people who I can't speak on behalf of people who are doing this as a full-time thing, as a
Hmm.
means to make money, because obviously then they do need the engagement to further their profile, to increase their rates and stuff like that. So I
True.
can't comment on behalf of those people. But
Hmm.
for me, I think it was again going deep and asking why I am doing.
Hmm.
Am I doing this for the likes? Nothing wrong in it, by the way. If I'm doing it for the
Yeah.
likes, there's nothing wrong in it. There are ways to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
But then I asked myself, do I want to? Then I was like, no, because my main, as I told you, my main thing is about just showcasing what I feel to the world. It's not about getting those numbers. At least right now,
Right.
it's not. And the second thing is, somewhere inside me, I feel like I want to inspire people in a way to be themselves or to,
Hmm.
in whatever way. Like when someone tells me that I have inspired them, I don't feel like I have earned the compliment, but I love it. It
Yeah.
really
Of
makes me
course.
feel.
Yeah.
So then, if I want to inspire people, then do I really want to create some trending video and just post it?
Hmm.
Does it really add any value to anyone's feed? I don't think it does from
True.
mine. The people
True.
who do it in their way, I have nothing but respect for them,
Yeah.
but it's not me. So
True.
once I made that distinction as to what I want my content to look like,
Hmm.
then the numbers don't matter because I'm doing what I want, you know.
And you also get lots of good comments. Like there's no doubt of good, happy, supportive comments. But do you remember maybe one or two reactions or feedbacks to your video which really like you still remember and it melted your heart and it made your day or month or year?
all of them. Like I can't choose, but
Okay.
sometimes like people tell me, uh, like when the song plays, I think of you now.
Wow.
It's just
Yeah.
insane. Like, a
Yeah.
song reminding someone of me because of a dance video that I did. It's
Yeah.
just, there's no better compliment than that. Or, obviously, like if someone from Team Natch likes it, because
Yeah.
they are like icons, right? It's like
Yeah.
if you're a cricketer and if Sachin likes one of your reels, like you would go mad. It's the same thing for me.
Yeah.
So if they like or they comment or they send a message or if they
Yeah.
even liking a message, it's like I have worked with a lot of cricketers and it has
Hmm.
never affected me. Like I have always been,
Oh,
because it is my work and once it is
right.
your work, because you're in a certain frame of mind, it doesn't affect you. But
Hmm.
if someone from Team Natch talks to me, I'm like, oh my God, fan moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like people who you have seen and you have looked up to, if them coming up to you and then them saying that I liked what you did or I'm very proud
Hmm.
of you, or which has happened recently, a couple of times. It has been very overwhelming and very beautiful. So things like that. And again, this is young kids saying that you inspire me, you make me want to dance, you make me want to try. Yeah, those kind of comments they really mean a lot to me.
That's amazing. Okay. Rupin, you mentioned in one of your answers that you were a tomboy back in school growing up. You have also spoken quite a few times about your idea of femininity. I don't know if that's the correct noun, but yeah, like femininity and how that changed for you and how you became comfortable with your feminine side. In dance, where your body is your main tool, your expressions are your main tool, gender expression and dance can't really be separated too much. So, do you want to speak a bit about that whole journey of your changing idea of feminine side of yours?
Yeah, so I did categorize myself as a tomboy when I was growing up, but which is fine back then because obviously I was protecting myself from certain things, and I felt comfortable under that certain label and whatever. So I don't blame myself for it. I
Hmm,
did whatever I could do at that time,
true.
which is fine. But now growing up, I realized that especially for women, putting ourselves in these labels is mostly limiting, you know, calling yourself a tomboy or calling yourself a girly girl or calling yourself whatever. There are hundreds of thousands of things that we
Labels,
say to
yeah.
label women, and it doesn't make sense to me anymore because you can't be a label. You just can't be.
Hmm,
You're a whole person. Every single thing that you do is unique to you. Those qualities combining is unique to you. No one else on the planet has the same qualities that you do. It's just not possible. You are
yeah.
wired that way. Your DNA is wired to be unique. So
Hmm,
I started realizing that slowly as I grew up. I did a lot of reading on feminism in general, gender
hmm,
inequality, and a lot of those things. And the more I read, the more I realized that it's always about putting women in a certain category for society, and
hmm,
it's not okay. It's
yeah.
because of that whatever has happened for so many years has been happening, and that's when I decided to I don't want to be categorized in whatever way just because the society is telling me that I am a woman who fits into this category or I am a
Yeah.
woman that category. So it's just about me and my expression
Hmm,
and what I feel
hmm,
like. Now, how dance comes into this is also very nice for me personally because, as I said, I used to be a tomboy. I didn't understand makeup. I didn't understand clothes, and in a way, the internalized misogyny in me
hmm.
it used to make me hate girls who would like oh, she's
Correct.
only into this, so that means she
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
whatever. She's just surface. She doesn't understand
Hmm,
it,
hmm,
and whatever. So
hmm.
that made me stay. Like I remember I used to hate Katrina Kaif when I was a kid, and
Yes.
now
Sorry,
you
sorry to
remember?
cut you off. I remember because there was I don't know which item song of hers had released, and I think on Facebook, and of course you were. I mean, we all were very small back then, and you had mentioned that she just there's no grace, and she's just moving her
Yeah,
body or something like that. And of course,
yeah,
those were like comments back in the day, and of course we all have grown up now. But I do remember this. But
yeah.
sorry,
So
like continue.
I used to hate
Yeah.
Katrina Kaif, and now I think back at it, there was no reason for me to hate her. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that girl, Just
Yeah.
it's just a very small example that you
Right.
internalize certain things. You look at a woman who looks pretty, and you are
Hmm.
taught to feel uh, badly towards
Insecure.
her. Women
Yeah.
are taught to be competitive all the time. Men are
Right.
not taught to hate each other. Women are
Hmm.
always taught to hate each other. So
Hmm.
once I actively realized these things, I made it a point to change them. It's not easy. Even
Hmm.
now, sometimes my first thought can be from my conditioning, but then it's
Right.
the second thought that matters. How do you change
Correct.
it? Because
Yeah.
all of your thoughts are not true. It's about how you
True.
control them and how you decide which ones are true or which ones
Hmm.
really mean something to you.
Hmm.
So then coming back to dance, I started taking, once I realized that, this is a part of, if I want to make videos, I want to look a certain way for every video. I want to present myself in a certain way. Again, it's not essential, but taking the effort to do that makes me respect myself. That, I'm
Hmm.
taking the effort to look a certain way for a certain video. I'm
Right.
taking the effort to buy a certain outfit for a certain video. So, I started doing it because I had to initially,
Hmm.
and then I fell in. I wouldn't say that I can do this all the time, even now. Like, be 100% focused on the outfit. It is still a secondary thing. The main thing
True.
is dance.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the process of uh, just looking at clothes and understanding, what would work for this video,
Hmm.
or taking the time to learn new things. And one thing for me that is very important for me is to be very self-dependent. So I don't want to
Hmm.
call a makeup artist every time I want to do a good video,
True.
or I don't want to call a hairstylist every time I want something done. Which is why I learned video editing also. That I want to be self-reliant. So
Hmm.
uh, then once I started doing it a lot, I started enjoying it a lot, and I found a new side to myself that I didn't know I had. And yes, I'm feminine in many ways. I'm graceful in many ways. I was a child. It's not just now. Uh, there's a lot of grace in the dance that I do. There's a lot of grace in the way I handle certain things that comes
True.
out of being a woman, not out of
Hmm.
anything else. So then once I realized that, I started to embrace it. And now I feel like, yes, I have a feminine side, I have a masculine side, and that's how all of us are, and it's okay to be like that.
Yeah. That's, I feel this is one of my favorite and the most beautiful moments of today's interview. So thank you so much for saying
Thank
all
you
of
so
those
much.
things.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really feel like, the thing you said that, of course, sometimes we'll be conditioned to think a certain thought at first, but it's what you control later on and the thoughts that follow that matter. And I think that's amazing. Like so much maturity. I don't feel a lot of people have. Yeah. And Rupin, strong women are often raised by very strong mothers. I know you have spoken a lot about your mother's role in raising you single-handedly, which is not a mean feat at all. Do you want to speak a bit about that? How has your mom been very supportive of your journey? Because this is not a profession. I mean, even your sports profession and this is not very conventional. How has that relationship evolved?
Yeah, like I don't remember who said it, but the quote is, "Everything I have and hope to be, I owe to my mom."
Hmm.
It's 100% true for me. Yeah, like just to, so she had a abusive relationship with her partner, and that's why she decided to separate from him, which people can't do today in
Yeah.
2022. She did it back in, I don't know, 99, 2000.
Wow.
uh, it was like the amount of strength, the courage, the just just doing it for a woman back then. And my life would have been completely different if she hadn't taken that step. I probably would
Yeah.
have been married off by now, which I
Yeah.
can't imagine
Yeah.
being right now. I would have,
Yeah.
never entered dance to this level. I would have probably not been a sports journalist as well. So for her moment of courage and that decision, it changed the trajectory of my life, more than
Hmm.
hers. And I'll always be grateful for that. And I think she is the reason I feel so strongly about feminism and women's rights and stuff like that, because I have seen it affect her very closely. I've seen it in my own house. And I've also seen how, women are always put down in certain ways, that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't raise a child on your own. financially,
Hmm.
you can't
Hmm.
understand certain things, you can't. But she did it all when
Yeah.
feminism wasn't even a thing. She did it
Thing.
back
Yeah.
then.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's every single time the I just it helps put my own problems in perspective
Perspective.
always. It helps,
Yeah.
and even like certain behaviors of mine, why I have them, how
Hmm.
I have imbibed them from her, good and bad, and both of them
Right.
help me, obviously.
Right.
So, and yeah, it wasn't always a very rosy relationship because
Yeah.
obviously you're going through a lot of things together. So it takes time.
Yeah.
But over the years, I always respected her, but it has really grown by leaps and bounds in the recent years. Now there's a lot of love there. It's an amazing relationship. She's like my friend.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she really, I think the most important thing in my life is freedom, and she
Hmm.
never stopped me from anything. you know Obviously certain things that I don't do
Yeah.
are really because of her, is like, she doesn't want me to drink, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to drink myself, so certain
Yeah.
things are there. But
True.
other than that, she never stopped me from anything, like, coming home late, uh whatever, wearing certain kinds of clothes, this,
Yeah.
that. This recently, this Dum Dum video, I was a little concerned that, what is she
Hmm.
going to say? There's certain
Yeah.
things are a little, which her comment was the best comment of the lot. She was like, "You are
Yeah.
raising the bar with every video." And I was like, "How cool is my mom? I
Yeah.
hope to be this level of cool if I'm ever a
Yeah.
mom."
Yeah. I saw that
And
comment because you had posted it
yeah,
in your story.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
just so flabbergasted. I was ready
Yeah.
with a defense in case she messages me, and she does this. You know,
How
so
sweet.
she has really surprised me over the last few years with how
Yeah.
open-minded she is about a lot of
Right.
things.
Yeah.
And she gives me advice and she tells me
Hmm.
what she thinks I should do, but she will never enforce what she
Hmm.
wants me to do. And I think that really shows in the person that I have become.
Yeah.
Because she has really put in the trust in me, and I have never broken that trust because she has never
Let's put
forced
in
me.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
she's amazing. She's the best.
Nice. Okay, so Rupin just reminded me that I had stopped recording, and thank you for reminding me. I can totally imagine now why people love to collaborate with you. It's these little things, I'm sure.
Yeah. Sometimes it's
Uh,
too irritating, though. You should ask them.
no, no, no. I'm sure report अच्छा ही मिलेगा. Okay, and so we have never done this in Talking to the Moon before, but I'm going to do a small rapid fire with you. Nothing controversial. Uh, so let's go for
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
yeah. A song you would never dance to.
Any Kabir Singh song because I can't stand that movie. So I don't
Oh,
even listen
right.
to the song. It's just my little way of protesting to it. I don't even
Hmm.
like the songs are beautiful individually,
I
but
know.
I don't listen to
Yeah.
them out of protest. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. A song you've always wanted to dance to, but you've never gotten a chance.
I have danced to it before, Desi Girl, but I want to do it properly, like,
Yeah.
uh,
Like with the
in a
sari and
way that,
everything.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's very special to me, that song.
Yeah.
Very, very.
And aren't you a big Priyanka Chopra fan? I remember
I'm a
from our.
massive Priyanka fan. Like
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
I've never colored my hair. I've never. But if I ever do that song properly, I'll do it
Hmm.
exactly like her. I'll color my hair. I'll find the sari like that and all. So yeah, that's one of
Yeah.
the dreams. I've never told it to anyone, but yeah, I've
Oh,
revealed it
nice.
today on talking
Nice.
to the moon.
Let's manifest it.
Yes.
And because when we were in eighth, in 2008, I was in eighth. That's when Desi Girl had come out. So, yep.
Yeah.
I hope you do it very soon, and I hope it becomes crazy viral, and I hope PCJ shares it and likes
Oh
it.
my God.
Okay, three things people usually don't know about dancers.
uh, that we can't always just start dancing out of nowhere कि अरे डांस करके दिखाओ नहीं हो
Yeah,
पाता यार हम सबसे
yeah,
it's like it's about the mood, it's about the song, it's about 100
yeah,
different. Number two is that we all are flexible, we are not, I'm not. And number three is I don't know, that we are always confident. It's always in fact the opposite, you're not
yeah,
confident, projecting it most of the time.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you because even I like to dance. I have like taken training in dance classes and stuff. But when it comes to like a DJ, like a Ganpati dance or like a DJ, I'm not the most like, otherwise I'm very extroverted. But People are like, "Arey, you to dance. Why aren't you dancing your heart out?" I'm like, I don't know. I just
It's
like a
not the same thing.
choreography. It's not the same thing. Yeah.
And even with like, another thing is we are not free choreographers for your family Sangeet, so they pay us, please.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that is also there.
yeah, yeah. Good you mentioned that. People should know that actually. Um,
Yeah.
your biggest pet peeve in a collaborator, something you can't like deal with.
Someone who is okay with okay stuff. Like, they
Hmm.
don't want to raise the bar. I don't like that. Like,
Okay.
they're just, okay, kar liya na, abhi theek hai.
Hmm.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Your favorite dancer in Bollywood, male or female?
In Bollywood, it's hard to look past Hrithik, man. Like, he's just an icon. Just
Yeah.
too hard to look past him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
He's
Katrina also, in
hmm.
just because of the things that she has done that no one else did at the time. Which
True.
again, I'm taking her name now after, which shows the journey that I've
The
had with
journey.
Katrina.
Yup. True. Yeah. Great. Your favorite dance style?
I'd say anything with a strong feminine energy. So
Hmm.
probably jazz, funk, or even like some uh, Bollywood, which is strong dance style. Yeah.
Got it. And I think that concludes my little rapid fire.
Okay, that
Uh,
wasn't so scary.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I
It's
don't have
normal.
anything scary. Yeah, very normal.
Yeah.
Okay, Rupin, now we are towards the end of our episode. You are a part of a huge dancers community. Is there anything you would like to change in that community or a systemic change you would like to see?
Um, Frankly, access is difficult for people who are not of a certain financial background.
Hmm,
I feel access to training, access to workshops, access to a lot of things is very difficult. Uh, because yeah, I can afford a lot of things now because I'm making my own money on the side. But
true.
when I was a child or a college student, I wouldn't be able to have this life right now.
Hmm,
And I feel a lot of it now is about which again I have grown to love it, but that shouldn't be the only thing where how you look or how you present yourself is what sells you as a dancer.
hmm,
Because yes, it matters, but it doesn't matter more than the art itself.
true.
So yeah, that is something that just a little more appreciation for raw art that a lot of people have, and sometimes they just don't have the what do you say? So they don't have the
Re
resources
resources,
to
yeah,
take it to the next level.
yeah,
But that doesn't mean
true.
that the art in itself is, there are no scholarships. There are very little
Yeah,
scholarships for dancers here.
true.
There's no access in workshops for people who can't make it. Yeah, I can
Hmm,
pay 700 easily for a workshop today, but there are so many
yeah,
people who can't. So
right.
yeah, just the access and more like it's a certain financial people from a certain financial background that I meet here, which is fine,
Hmm,
great.
hmm,
There's still a lot of variation, but it doesn't go below a certain point.
hmm,
So I think it's
right.
good and it's very important.
Rupin, we went to the same school in Pune, and I was there only for a couple of years because I came in my eighth grade, and I experienced bullying to a certain extent. You have also spoken about being bullied back in school. How was that like? Of course, I'm sure it must have been really bad, but how did you come out of it? And today, when you look back at that phase, what is your mindset?
Yeah, it was probably one of the worst things that I have gone through. Because as a child, you don't have the tools to deal with these things that you do as an adult, mentally, even sometimes financially, physically, a lot of things. And as I told you, like already came from a broken home. I was trying to find my own self, and I wouldn't
Hmm.
say that it was like I was perfect or anything. I'm sure I had a lot of flaws as a child. Uh, because you act out, when you're going through things, you act out and or
Yeah.
you close off, which I did both. I did both of those things, and it just the children in the school were really mean to me, like at a different level. Like
Yeah.
it was very very difficult. It was even the auto rickshaw that we spoke about. There was a girl in that auto rickshaw who used to really bully me. Like she used to, even today, I can remember her face. I can remember clearly the things that she used to say.
Yeah.
And it really used to hit me a lot because
Yeah.
back then you don't understand that these things aren't meant to be taken to heart
Yeah.
in such a huge way. And the problem was I was very isolated.
Hmm.
I never told these things to my mom because even at a young age, I knew that she had a lot to deal with. And,
Deal with already.
I couldn't put all of this on her. So I never
Yeah.
told her. I used to come home and I used to go and cry in the washroom so that no one watches, sees that I'm crying. And I was also isolated at school because I was a little closed off. I didn't have friends for the longest time. I used to
Hmm.
have lunch alone. I used to, every time like my worst nightmare in class used to be the teacher saying that, you have to pair up with someone for this. I was like, who should I ask? Because I
Yeah.
don't have any friends. What should I do? So yeah, it was very difficult. But then, like, somehow it made me realize why it is important to be kind.
Hmm.
Maybe if I didn't go through those things, I would never realize why it's so important to be a good person, or why I don't want to be like these people who are doing this to me.
Hmm.
And then obviously I made friends. Some of them I am still friends with. They are my closest friends. And it got better after a
Hmm.
certain point. After eighth grade only for me, I think it got a lot better. I got friends who stood up for me, to those same people, which was a great feeling. And uh, those bonds stayed with me because they were with me in a time where I didn't know myself. I was not sure of myself. I was not a perfect person.
Yeah.
I had a lot of flaws, and they still accepted me and made me feel like I'm also worthy of being someone's friend. I'm also worthy of being
Yeah.
protected by people and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a serious problem. Like every time I hear about bullying, it just breaks my heart so much because
Yeah.
I think I still had it okay. It was still, not that bad because of whatever.
Hmm.
And it is sad that I have to say it that it was not
I
that
know.
bad
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. I completely
But
agree with you actually. Yep.
yeah, I think sometimes boys go through worse. They go through physical bullying.
Yeah.
Uh, in some other schools, it is worse because of X, Y, Z other factors. And it is like us doing it to our children. It is very heartbreaking. And
Yeah.
uh, it's I could get out of it, but I'm sure there are people who can't, and I'm sure some of my behavior even now is a little bit affected by those things because I went through it for a long period of time, and
Hmm.
these things in our childhood they tend to affect us a lot more than we realize.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wise words indeed. So when you look back now over the past 10, 15 years, you've had a crazy journey. And of course, this is only the beginning. Do you like pat yourself on the back, like, okay, I've come pretty far. Rupin, you've done quite good with the knowledge and resources you had. How do you feel when you look back?
uh, yeah, I do feel proud of myself for certain things that I have done, but also I'm always aware that I came from a certain level of privilege, even
Hmm.
by just being educated, or
Hmm.
by just being a girl who was born in this country and who was raised to be educated. It is still like there are people who don't have access to water right now. It just those kind of
True.
things they stay with me, and I
Hmm.
know that no matter how much people say that I'm self-made, I've come a certain way. Yes, I have come a certain like I have worked hard and I have made a lot happen for myself. But at the same time, I know that I come from a place of privilege, and I should keep that in my mind because that's the least we can do. So
True.
yeah, I do feel proud of the fact that I have overcome certain things and I have always tried to grow through all situations.
Hmm.
And as I said, I have had some really bad experiences with some really bad people, but that never made me want to be a bad person. Or
Hmm.
I've always tried to be a good person. I think that is the thing I'm proudest of right now more than anything.
Yeah. And I'm sure all your friends will vouch for it. Even though like I haven't really known you that well over the past few years, I can still feel that you are trying to be a good person and your kindness is very palpable and very visible just through like
And
social
Rohit,
media.
I have to say, like, from day one of knowing you, even as kids, I always got
Yeah.
a very positive vibe from you and very kind, supportive vibe from you, which again in school, I got it from
Yeah.
very few people. So I really
Yeah.
cherished it when someone was just nice to me, or,
Yeah.
just normal, just respectful,
Yeah.
which you always were. Which is why I
Yeah.
was so happy when we reconnected
Yeah.
so out of the blue and
I
unexpectedly.
know. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for always being so nice.
Yeah, of course. And likewise. And with that, we have come to the end. Rupin, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. I have had the best time. I honestly didn't feel like we haven't spoken for what, 12 years or something. And of course, I'm not going to sit and praise your dance because like it's out there for everyone to know what an amazing and a terrific dancer you are. So yes. So for our audience, we'll share Rupin's YouTube and Instagram handles in our bio. So please go and see her dances. Like, believe me, she's terrific. And a special mention to the amount of energy she puts in her dances. It's, for me at least, I have not seen such energy being put at a lot of places. So thank you so much again,
Thank you so
Rupin. It
much,
was a,
Rohit.
yeah,
I thank you for asking me. Like I don't think I have reached a point here where I should be interviewed about my dance, but it means a lot that I think this is the first, one of the first dance specific things that I have done. Definitely a dance specific podcast.
yeah,
And yeah, I feel so grateful and humbled, and I'm so glad it was like this is how we spoke after so many years and
yeah,
connected.
yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much once again. I had a blast, and I can't wait for this to come out.
Yes.
And I
And
think you have oversold me a little bit to your audience, but I hope they still enjoy my content.
they will for sure, because you will keep creating those amazing dance videos. I have used the word amazing so much today, but I mean, that's what
That's
you,
amazing.
but that's what Rupin equals to amazing. So please keep dancing. That's the only thing we ask of you. And please keep spreading all the light and love that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.